Hello, fight fans. Welcome to episode 3 of the fight game. My name is ST, and in today's episode, I'm going to be reflecting on the Joshua versus Dubois fight that happened last year in Wembley Stadium before looking ahead to the potential upcoming fight between Fury and AJ at long last, thanks to Riyadh season and his excellency. I think I speak on behalf of majority of the fans, or majority of the 97,000 that were there when we saw our great king fall, because majority, like myself, were backing our AJ. I'm making no secret that I am in fact an AJ fan, but truth be told, so was majority of the 97,000 that were there that night at Wembley Stadium. And to see AJ get knocked out, to see him get knocked out face first, it was like watching Mufasa fall to his demise in The Lion King. Everybody around me just shocked, stunned, speechless. I've never seen so many strangers around me hugging each other and shaking each other's hands in commiseration. Me and my friends left the stadium along with 97,000 others. I looked around me and people were quiet. People were actually very quiet. It's almost as if we were coming back from a funeral. I remember having this sort of sickening feeling in the pit of my stomach in terms of how this could happen, but yet it did. AJ was bullied right from the get-go. He was getting outlanded by the Dubois jab and hurt by the Dubois jab. I remember on several occasions Daniel's left-hand jab, so strong and powerful, completely snapping AJ's head back, forcing him to reset each time. Daniel Dubois definitely has one of the best jabs in boxing. He drops AJ at the end of round 1. Had there been 30 seconds left, there's no doubt in my mind AJ would be knocked out in round 1. Such was the impact of the knockdown. After that, Dubois was putting it on him, putting it on AJ more and more with his relentless work engine. Can't remember now exactly how many times he was knocked down before round 5. And to be honest, don't really want to remember if I'm to be honest with you. But he was so far removed from the fight that I feel he had no choice but, in Ben Davison's words, roll the dice, because At this point in the fight, AJ had no choice but to start taking chances in order to bring himself back in, because he was being totally dominated up until that point. And so AJ, like the true warrior he is, he did roll the dice. Daniel Dubois lands another powerful left hand jab, snapping AJ's head back. AJ looking at the crowd saying don't worry, or looking at, I think, his own corner or Daniel's corner saying don't worry, beating his hand on his chest saying don't worry, I got this. Daniel lands his usual left hand power jab. AJ then lands a booming straight right hand, snaps Dubois' head back. Daniel is now retreating back against the ropes. AJ is following in. I'm at this point screaming my head off, as is the entire stadium, thinking this is AJ's chance to finish him off. AJ landed 2 further right hands, and as he went for the kill shot, which was the lead right uppercut from so far away, Daniel clips him with his own right hand, and that's the end of that. The basics of boxing are such that fighters are never trained to throw their uppercuts from that far out from their opponent, because it leaves them very vulnerable. And Dubois timed AJ perfectly. Daniel Dubois was definitely hurt in that fight in round 5 before AJ got knocked out in the process. Having said that, he was nowhere near as hurt as AJ because Daniel's legs were still very much under him. Unfortunately, AJ's legs turned into, as Carl Froch would often say, Bambi on ice. But Daniel, when he got hurt, he was the fighter that remained cool, calm, composed under pressure. And that's how he was able to get the knockout shot and retain his IBF World Heavyweight title. Daniel Dubois is really coming into his own as a fighter. I remember him being shy, awfully shy actually, at the start of his career. Not being able to converse much in the public eye, very reserved, not saying much, and now as he's matured into the 27, 28-year-old man he is, very much coming into his own and becoming increasingly outspoken as heavyweight champion of the world. As far as AJ is concerned, I thought he was right to avoid the Dubois rematch because he knows he was beaten convincingly. I think the only fight left there for him is Tyson Fury. We are now going to be focusing on the potential upcoming clash later this year between Joshua and Fury. That finally looks like it's set to happen, largely thanks to the introduction of His Excellency and Riyadh season. 3 to 4 years ago, the fight between the pair of them was more 50-50 in my opinion. However, now I would say, despite Fury's 2 losses to Alexander Usyk and Joshua's knockout loss to Dubois, I will still make Tyson Fury the clear favourite, and I'm an AJ fan. But I would make Tyson Fury a heavy favourite. I think this fight now for AJ is far more dangerous than it was a few years ago. And I think majority of the boxing world as a result would make Tyson Fury favourite, including myself. And like I said, I'm an AJ fan, but I've got to be honest with my viewers, with my listeners, always. Despite my fan-friendly sport to one fighter over another, I've got to keep it honest with fight fans listening in worldwide in terms of who I think is more likely to win this contest, and I'm making Fury the favourite here. Significant favourite. I think the Fury that showed up in the first Usyk fight and the second Usyk fight is more than enough to be AJ. And I think this fight ultimately comes down to 4 factors. The first factor to consider is versatility. I mentioned earlier how the first Tyson Fury against Usyk and the second one in the rematch is enough to be AJ. And that's because Fury, compared to AJ, is a very versatile fighter. He is as equally balanced on his back foot as he is on his front foot. And so he has multitude of ways to victory against AJ. The Fury we saw in the first fight against Usyk is enough to school AJ over a 12-round decision. The aggressive Fury that we saw in the rematch against Usyk, although in my opinion he wasn't as aggressive as I thought he would be with the things he was saying in Fight Week, but the Fury who showed up in the rematch against Usyk, I think also beats AJ convincingly over a 12-round decision and perhaps even knocks him out. So I think this has now become a very, very dangerous fight for Anthony Joshua, because I think he is definitely more vulnerable now than he was a few years ago. The second factor to consider here is adaptability. Out of the two fighters, I would definitely say Fury is the more adaptable one, who is less dependent on his trainer because of his better ability to think inside that square circle and be able to adapt to his opponent when plans A, B, and C are not working. Whereas if what Ben Davison is telling AJ is not working, and plans A, B, and C are not working, he is more likely to get lost than Fury, who I believe is less dependent on his trainer, Sugar Hill Stewart. So I think Fury has better capabilities to be able to adapt in the ring over AJ, because Fury showed that in his first fight against Usyk. I felt Usyk had a fast start, and then Fury took over in the middle rounds. That's an example of Tyson's adaptability. And because of his adaptability, that's another factor in Tyson's favour. So we mentioned versatility, adaptability. The other factor to consider, or factors rather, should I say to consider, is punch resistance and powers of recovery. Tyson's powers of recovery is universally recognized to be far stronger than AJ's, who, when he gets hurt, needs a good few rounds to recover. With Tyson, it's not like that. His powers of recovery are immense. Both of their punch resistance has declined over the years, but I feel AJ's has declined further and faster. Looking back at all these four factors, I can't help but conclude there only being one winner in the Gypsy King. When we look at speed, footwork, overall boxing ability, like I said earlier, you have to make Tyson Fury the favourite. The only factor I can think of right now that works in AJ's favour is his power. That's the only factor I see right now, which is to AJ's advantage. The rest of the factors, as I mentioned earlier, all favour Tyson Fury. So as a result, I would make him the favourite to win this contest. Let me know your thoughts on who you think is going to win, and if you like hearing my views on this sport, then don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below, and I'll see you all on the next episode. Bye for now.